So I've been thinking for a while about more American related topics to do for this channel, kind of like I did in the past. And I didn't really know exactly how to explain what would make an American. And I've taken some college classes where we talk about American literature and stuff. And one of the questions was, what makes an American, basically. And over the months, I have been thinking more about that. And it kind of, one of the things that I thought about kind of explained our political system, sort of, more of our economic system, I would say. It seems like maybe it's not even just Americans in general. Maybe it's a bunch of other people around the world. It seems like we are always in a competition with each other to see who's tougher, basically. Not really to see, because I have heard people say, oh, a lot of people try and show off all their fancy stuff and see who's richer. Like we have bigger houses and bigger cars or better cars, fancier cars and stuff. But I didn't come across a lot of that in my childhood. I wasn't super poor or anything. I did have some family that was poor, that was on food stamps and stuff and, welfare. I don't believe we were ever on food stamps, if I can remember. And so, I guess you can say I was kind of middle class. Definitely not rich. And it kind of reminded me of a stand-up from a comedian. I can't remember which comedian it was that I saw many, many years ago, where he was talking about how he would be in like a competition with other kids to see who was poorer. And they would be like, oh yeah, I'm so poor, et cetera, et cetera. And I remember one of the things the other kid said was, well, my family is so poor, we can't afford oil, so we cook with Vaseline or something like that. And the comedian was like, damn, you got me. You're more poor than I am. And it's kind of like that in some parts of the US. Not who's richer, but who's poorer, or who's tougher, who can survive the best, or who can do the hardest job on the lowest amount of money. And that has happened for so long, and not even just compared with your, partners or whatever, or your peers, I guess you can say. Not people your own age, but like your parents and your uncles and aunts and then your grandparents. They would always say, well, back in my day, I had to walk 10 miles to school in the snow or whatever the fuck, and then we only made 50 cents for an entire day of work, and we had to work our asses off. But at the same time, of course, there's inflation, and the money was completely different. You could afford college with a job. You can't really afford a full education with a job and like have your own place or anything. They could do that back then. My parents could do that. I can't do that unless I happen to land some crazy ass job that pays an ass load. The job that I have pays more than minimum wage. I still don't make enough to move out. And then let alone to pay for college and food, electricity, cable, internet, or internet in general. So yeah, it has been a kind of a competition of who's tougher, who can do better with less, basically. That's what I have seen in my experience. Of course, there might be some higher class people who try and compare, yeah, I'm richer, I have a better car, I have a bigger house. But that seems to be becoming rare and rarer. And it's more of who can survive the best. At least in my opinion. But you can always tell me your opinion. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you think, what you've seen. If you're from the US, if you're from a different country, if it's the same in your country or whatever. And I'd be happy to have a little conversation with all you guys. So I guess that's it. You can subscribe to my channel also for more American related stuff, or just random blogs, personal blogs that I want to do. So yeah, see you guys later.